Jeff, in chapter 9, you talk about selecting a trusted advisor. You know, in the earlier chapters of the book, we have covered a lot of ground, and it's a lot of information, and it's a lot of stuff to digest. Do you think that it's important? I mean, there's no way we can master all these topics. Is it important to get a trusted advisor to start helping us make some of these decisions and to move forward and getting our financial health in order?
It depends. In many cases, the answer is yes. It really depends on where you are in your financial journey. For some people who are very comfortable making decisions early in their career, for example, buying insurance, if you're comfortable doing that online and you have very few needs, you may not need an advisor. But the point is, at some point in your working career, you will need a trusted advisor, more than likely a team. And so that's why I spend time in this chapter talking about the typical types of advisors you likely will need. And that can involve the insurance agent, it can involve an attorney, it can involve a tax advisor, a financial planner. The list goes on, but those are kind of the big advisors. I think the important thing is to look at what does that advisor get paid? How does that advisor get paid? And for some professionals, it's very straightforward. Attorneys, usually it's an hourly rate. For financial planners, it can also be an hourly rate, but it might be something different, especially if a financial planner tells you, hey, my time and my services are free. Well, we all know there's no such thing as totally free for a service. And so what I recommend is that individuals just ask. Ask the question, how are you paid for the services you provide to me? The other thing is to do your due diligence with any advisor. And a lot of times it starts with people you trust. Just ask them, who do you work with for this type of situation? But then take the time to check references and also take the time to interview that advisor. Because a lot of this is you're entrusting with that advisor your most personal information. And you want to make sure that there's good chemistry between the two of you. So take the time to interview. That can either be in person, which is the best, but over the phone for sure. Make sure that your financial or whatever your advisor is, his or her objectives align with yours.
In Chapter 9, I discuss selecting trusted advisors. And as we've gone through the chapters in financial wellness at work, you can see it's kind of a building block structure where we introduce new concepts of importance. And when you look at your overall financial picture, it's great to be informed. In fact, it's essential to be informed. But a lot of times we need to leverage and work with those that have specialized expertise in areas that can help us. And so what I discuss in this chapter are the types of advisors that you should consider at some point in your journey toward financial wellness. And it breaks down into 5 main advisors. Now, certainly there may be more, but these are the big advisors to consider when you have the need. Number 1, insurance agents. In the previous chapter, spent a lot of time talking about the 7 types of coverage that you may need. And a lot of times you're going to need an insurance specialist to help you. And for all of these professionals, it's important to know how they get paid. Typically, insurance agents will be paid based on a commission on what they sell you. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's the industry standard for insurance agents. So they only get paid by selling you a policy. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the end result of what a lot of people need. But it's important to understand that for any type of professional you hire, understand and ask and get in writing, how do they get paid? Then we move to the second professional that many of us will need, and it's a financial planner. Now, I'll spend just a little more time on financial planners because I think that for many people, they're essential, but I know that it can be very confusing, and that's why very confusing in terms of how the financial planner gets paid. And there are three major ways a financial planner gets paid. Number one, either through hourly fees, where it's a stated hourly fee and you pay that fee. Number two, it might be based on the value of your assets under management. A lot of financial planners will kind of take over your financial affairs and they will recommend different investments. And for that service, they'll charge some type of a fee. It could be a flat fee of X number of dollars per year, or it could be based on a percentage of the value of your assets. That's number two. Number three involves a combination of one and two, which could be fees and percentage of assets. So it's very important with a financial planner to understand how that planner gets paid, because you really don't want any surprises when it comes to paying any professional, especially a professional who is helping you to manage your money if you decide you need that. Number three, attorneys. At some point in our lives, we will probably need the services of an attorney. And one area to think about is a personal will. The vast majority of adults in our country do not have a personal will. It's something that's kind of hard to think about because it involves us coming to terms with perhaps a premature passing, which we don't like to think about. But it's very important for most adults to have a will, because it really represents your wishes for how you want your assets to be distributed. And if you're in a relationship or if you have dependents, I believe it's absolutely critical. And so that may be the point where you need an attorney. Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot find a will online and have it meet your needs, but every state's a little bit different. Your financial situation may be such, especially if you're starting to accumulate significant assets and you have very specific wishes for your dependents. That's where a good attorney can be quite helpful in the drafting of a will. The next area involves a realtor. I think realtors provide a great service, especially when you consider the largest personal investment that you will have outside of any company savings will probably be the value of your primary residence. And that's why it's really important to take your time to know what you're buying and to work, in most cases, with a professional, because a realtor will understand the local market and can provide you with what I call legal insider information when it comes to buying a property. And what I mean by that is realtors, the really good ones, know the new listings and they're well connected within the community, and they may even discover a property is going on the market before it actually officially goes on based on their contacts. And that can really help you in helping you to select the right property. Also, when you go to sell a property, a lot of times there isn't the time to put the for sale sign out. Maybe you've had a job transfer or you're taking a new job and you need to sell your house. You need to sell your house quickly. And that's where a realtor can really help you to price your house appropriately, to market your house appropriately. So realtors perform an excellent service, especially with any professional you find the right one. And then finally, tax advisors. Tax advisors can be absolutely invaluable if you have some type of complicated transaction. And to give you an idea of that, it especially involves a time when you are retiring. And when you're retiring, you have a lot of decisions to make. And if you have been systematically investing in your company retirement savings program, it probably will represent the largest amount of financial assets that you have under your control. But what you need to do is you need to make the right decision in terms of, do I take a lump sum? Or do I purchase an annuity and take a fixed stream of monthly payments? there's just lots of decisions that you need to make. And the tax system is ever changing, very complex. And when you make those decisions at retirement, a lot of them are permanent, like buying an annuity. If you buy an annuity, you're locked in. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just you need to understand the ramifications, just like taking a lump sum. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense for most people in retirement to take a lump sum because guess what? You're taxed on the entire gain of the fund. So tax advisors at the right time can make a lot of sense. And so the whole purpose of this chapter is to really get you grounded on the types of trusted advisors that you should probably consider using at some point in your financial journey. And what I've also done in the appendix is I have put together in Appendix 9-1 10 key interview questions to ask a financial planner. And you can certainly use the basis of these questions for questions you could ask any professional that you plan to work with, because this really revolves around getting to know that advisor. And I really recommend that before you retain any advisor, that you take the time to meet with that advisor. And especially for a financial planner, that's why I put this checklist together, is to kind of help you to really sort through and to make sure you understand how that financial planner will work for you. But quite frankly, that applies to any professional that you retain to be part of your team to help you build financial wellness. Because a lot of this involves not only the competence of the professional, which is obviously key, but the type of working relationship and trust that you will have in that professional. So when you develop the working relationship and trust in your team of advisors, it can really help you to really stay the course and make critical decisions at the right point, at the right time. So surround yourself at the appropriate time with the right advisors. The right advisor can absolutely be invaluable as you proceed on your journey for building financial wellness.